Okay, g'day everybody. It's the 14th today. So, and I just realised when I look in the camera, I need a shave, need a beard trim. Whoops, getting a bit scruffy, and I'm in the wrong shirt again because I've been doing GGR stuff, and so it goes. Grey day here, but it's still okay. It's not super cold, and things happening. What's happening? I'm getting some stuff organised for the Class Globe 580 German division is going to be exhibiting in a boat show coming up in many months. But anyway, I'm getting all the display ready, gear ready they're coming down to pick it up on the 16th. So that's cool. And there's going to be a boat there and all sorts of stuff. Interesting conversations about people wanting to buy an existing 580 rather than build and so on. If you're following the builders group, if you're interested in building on the Facebook builders group, 580 builders group, it's always something happening there, and it's an interesting conversation. Anyway, we'll talk a bit about that when we get through the tracker. So Popeye and John are still sitting there; they haven't taken off yet, and so tomorrow will actually be 3 weeks before they get there, and we'll talk before they take off. So hopefully they'll be away tomorrow. They must be having trouble picking up their wind vane and so on. So always something happening. Anyway, I won't waffle too much because we'll talk about it at the end. We will hit this here, and you should go to the tracker. Yep, there's you, and I've got to get onto the tracker now. There's me. This up here, make it a little bit stronger. And boy, Gary's coming up the back there, looking as if he's facing the right direction and not that far behind. So he will have travelled a little bit more distance than everyone else, but he's there, and now he's got some good objectives up the front to start passing people. So that's always fun. And let's see how it goes, because he's got a great boat, and he's got a nice objective. Can I get everyone on here? Yes, I can, only because if you look at that, Renaud's 4 hours behind everyone. I didn't rig that to happen normally, but he was 4 hours behind everyone at the 12 o'clock UTC position, and now we're into the 1600 position, and he's still at 1200. So everyone else should be at 1600. Ayrton was hanging back. He's 1601. So every now and then we're getting a glitch. So nothing to worry about. I'll put his estimated position up there so you can see roughly where he would be if he was showing correctly. And either way, it doesn't matter. I suppose it's just a case of being up front. He must be getting bored by being up front. Sometimes it's nice to have someone to chase or someone beside you, but he just cleared out. It's reminiscent of what's happened in the past in the GGR and so on. Anyway, all kind of fun. I better just, I did check before, and Popeye hasn't moved. So anyway, down the back, Gary, chuffing along, 5.7 and 125 mile day. I think the whole fleet's getting rain. They're all talking about it. So it's a bit boring. It's still overcast, and people's solar panels are not able to keep up with all their big screens and all their media they want to get out and all the other instruments they have going. So they've got to start making choices, selective choices on what's really important and what's not, and start turning things off. Quite often, even on tracker, just the way I sail, I would actually just have everything off, and I'd only put something on if I needed that particular item. Even I usually left the VHF on all the time unless I was awake. If I was awake, I'd leave the VHF off. So, but if I went to sleep, it was always on. And if I had plenty of power, then I would let it go. But I was only running 2 solar panels. I had the one on deck, which was 100 watt, and the one down the back, which was 50 watt, which I could angle to the sun. And that was doing most of the work. And that was plenty of power. I never got short of anything. But my GPS chart plotter was the smallest one you could buy, a 5-inch screen, because you don't need a big screen. That's what chews up the power. And, you still get all the bits. So Gary's doing okay. Now Josh has got to keep a hurry up because he doesn't want to trade places. He's got someone behind him and he can leave him there. So doing 5.5 and 131 mile a day. So he's a little bit ahead of Gary, 125 mile a day. Then quite some distance up the front, and let's just peg it out here. So Josh is now 180 odd miles, 180 miles, or a bit more actually, about behind Jasmine. There we go, 190 miles behind Jasmine. So that would normally be 40 hours, 5 knots. So something like that, 40 hours, nearly 2 days behind Jasmine. So that's a good objective. Jasmine, doing 5.7 knots, 131 mile day, and that's pretty reasonable, shooting along. Jacob, with his garlic wrapped up around his infested legs, which is solving the issue. He's got the similar sort of skin infection that Christian had. And he's chomping up garlic and sticking it in places, and apparently it's working. So 140 mile day, a little bit faster than Jasmine. So he's on a roll. Also complaining about the rain, which you probably saw in the post down the bottom. And he's no doubt going to get into, because if he's got that skin infection, it can be worse than it looks. You have a couple of big ones coming out, but it can be coming up all over your skin. So, but he might not be want to talk about that. We don't usually get into the medical side of entrance unless we're just interviewing them and saying how's it going generally. Then we'll, people are interested. It's up to them what they want to say. So, but anyway, he's not slowed up at all. Jacob's going for it. Adam doing 6.1 knots and 139 mile day. He'd be happy with that for sure. Anything over 120 miles is a big plus, and I think part of that will be the current, but we'll look at that later. Captain Coconut's in amongst the fleet there, doing 6.2, so he's rocking along, and it goes to show that he's same speed as the 580s. In fact, it was interesting. I'm just doing some work on our other boat in Fiji, getting organised for when we go over there. Flash it up. It's on the Heart at the moment, and I just realised that I did a 13-day trip the last year from Tahiti to Fiji, but it was only averaging about 5.5 knots or something, and I thought I was flying at the time, because we went really slow the last few days. But it's interesting because the 580 actually does all right, because our boat, that one, is 42 feet, and I wasn't going slow, but we did have some slow days at the end. So anyway, kind of fun. The 580 gets along okay. 6.2 for Christian. 145 mile day. Okay, plenty of good sailing. 5.7, 83. What's going on with Ayrton? That's 1600 position as well. That's interesting. 183, and Christian's just done 145, and Dan Turk right next to him's done 142. Are you asleep, Ayrton, or are you just having too much fun? He usually watches this stuff. So we're bound to get a comment from Ayrton. If he's watching this, he'll put something in the comment and explain what's going on. But yeah, if you remember yesterday, Dan was right back alongside him, passing him. He's well and truly past him, but for some reason Ayrton's not stacking up the right way there. Could be a glitch in the calculations, but who knows? Because if I remember rightly, Eric was alongside, in line with Ayrton, and he's still in line with Ayrton, but Eric's done 130 mile day, 39 mile day, and 5.6 knots. So something's going wrong with Ayrton's numbers, I think. Peeler, 141 mile day. This is amazing. And 6.3 knots. There's an underlying current for sure. And Dan sent in Holiday Dan sent in a video clip, which I shared underneath this, couple posts down. Absolutely rollicking along, no main, just a head sail and flying. So 6.5 knots, 158 nautical miles. That's nearly 160. I won't honk yet because I haven't seen Renaud, but that's pretty good. The best all-time speed we've had was from Adam in leg one, I think, and he got up to 160.1. So Dan's rocking in there at 158 miles. And what's Kerry doing? Here it comes. Boom, 151. 158. So he's not keeping up with with Dan. 6.5 knots though. Dan was on 6.5, the same. So he's obviously had a few slow hours, but that's still really hooting. 151. So, and here comes Renaud 4 hours behind the game, but 156 nautical mile day in the last 24 hours. That's pretty cool. 156. Who was 158? So Dan's got today's numbers. Ooh. A bit of a weak hunk of that one, but that's pretty cool for Dan. Yeah, he's really there. So maybe well, top speed though is top average speed 6.7. That's Renaud for sure. 156 miles. Now I'm intrigued. Let's look at the currents because that's absolutely helping for sure. I reckon. Here we go. Yeah, for sure. Look at all that. Everyone's having a good ride. Look at Dan up here. He's probably the most solid there for now. So just to remind you how all this works, if we pull this down here and get it alongside the scale, you can see there's 0.8 and there's 0.6. So that's 0.8. So if we go in the middle here, which is the middle, it's adding 0.4. So that's 0.4 onto 0.8 is 1.2 knot. Okay, so in this purple here, it's 1.2 to 1.5. So let's just say Dan's been rocking along at 1.2. That's an extra 24, 0.2, 24, 25, 26 miles. So that would then knock his real time through the water. If we said 26, say, it's 26. So take off that's 130 odd 130 odd miles. Still pretty good, 32 miles. And each of the other has got a varying degree of current. And that's going to put him in. I was very bold this morning. I got up and I thought, might as well, when are they going to get to Marquises? Just to see how it's going. And I walked it through based on certain numbers. And the leaders will absolutely be there by the end of the month if this continues on average. They could even be there quicker than that. But I'm saying for Fiji, end of the month. Marquesas at the end of the month. Then I walked it through based on their sort of higher performance speed, walked it all the way through, and I would suggest that the leaders are going to get in, to maybe on the 14, 15, 16 of June into Fiji, which is amazing. That's going to give them about 6 weeks or more in 6 weeks, 5 weeks or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 or 6 weeks in Fiji, and the tail enders, based on the break that we've got at the moment between the leaders and the rest of the fleet, they're going to be at least a couple of weeks behind. So that'll put them in at the end of the month, the end of June. So that means they'll, even the tail enders will get about 3 weeks or something in Fiji, which is cool. So that's that one. I'm not sure. We should just now come back to the wind, and I'll look at the forecast for the next couple of days. Get back up here and see if it's going to hold, which it will, because this is where trade wind sailing can get horribly boring, because it's day after day after day, but no one complains because you're not bashing to windward. What's that dirty word? It's sort of not on the agenda. This is why going right back to the little galleons, 300-400 years ago, trading from Acapulco full of gold all the way to the Philippines and stuff to trade for spices. They all sailed the trade wind route. Okay, so we're ready to go. Boom, boom. Here we go. Ooh, it's picking up a bit of yellow there. So. Most of them have been saying it's about 20, 25. It's a bit softer than I thought. But once the yellow's there, it's 25, gusting up a bit, but it's really on the edge. So there we go. We're already through to the 16th. So the next 2 days, it's all solid all the way through. I'm just having a look for this. There's the 17th. It's all solid. 18th. It's all solid. 19th. How far ahead will they be? It's starting to rock it off a bit there. Let's just see. So I'll give you an approximate thing here. So that's on the 18th. So it's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Say 120. So it's going to be 500 miles. Is that right? 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, about 500 miles ahead at this point. and it's holding up. That's 600. So by the 18th, they got plenty of breeze all the way through to the 18th. And by then, the tail enders, they'll be about 500 miles ahead. They won't get hooked up in that lighter wind behind. They'll be up here, which is still okay. So the next 4 days, more of the same. And that's kind of interesting. Has Popeye left? No, they're still there. Okay. I think that's all we need to show you. So I will come back here and get rid of that. Push this. So up I come. Yep, you got me. Okay. I don't know why these messages keep popping up there. I'll have to read the manual sort of thing to get back to it. But anyway, Graham, hi Dom from sunny Scotland. It's not Graham Cox. From my Paul Ensign Coronet 38. Don't worry what shirt you have on. Thanks, mate. I don't actually. It's kind of funny because you watch all the YouTubers and stuff, and yeah, we're pretty basic. And I look behind me. You should see the rest of the room. It's actually amazing. There's some cool stuff in here, but anyway, it's not exactly. We should have a proper studio or something, and I should have a proper microphone, and I should have proper lighting, and I should have had a shave and all these sorts of things, and But this is the way we do it, and it's going to be, yeah. Anyway, that's us. This is what we do, and I got a really super cool email today from a guy who's actually a GTR entrant, and he's just blown away because he's already also hooked up with, his whole inspiration goes right back to John Guswell and Tracker and all this sort of stuff, and one of his mates is actually doing the MGR now. And so he sent this huge letter, or just a very nice letter, just saying how this is fantastic. He's really enjoying the MGR, and he really gets off on what we do with the events and all this sort of stuff. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is I sort of said, gee, we really love this. We're very proud of the 580 fleet and everything that's happening. It's a nice statement. The people that have built their boats and then going around and doing their thing as much as, and they know it as well, as much as they don't enjoy some of it. That's just sailing. Most of them have, well, this is some of the biggest sailing the majority of the fleet have done, for sure. They're most unique, and it's very cool. So, I'm not worried about the shirt. But thanks, Graham. Kerry Harris is accomplishing the most amazing race. He sure is. We're yet to hear about that Chinese jibe, but the way he slowed down for quite some time, I reckon there'll be a story there. He says it was just a Chinese jibe and he lost his Starlink and blah, 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 but he seems to have these epics. And it's sort of like, oh boy, it's Kerry again. Jeepers, I just hope his wind vane's still ticking along. So same anyway. So we'll have to wait and see till we get the stories. At the moment, everything's been going pretty well, and there's plenty of material coming out, and it's all sort of happening okay. We have the ability, of course, to do an interview here. I can call up and I can give someone a link and get them to just hit the link on their computer, and they pop up here, and we talk to them. And I can do that with any of the entrants that are on Starlink, and do it live. So I might try and coordinate that with some of them. Maybe later this week or early next week, I'll send them a message and say, you want to do an interview? And so it won't be on a tracker session. It'll be a dedicated one, but it's similar to these lives. So it comes up on Be Live, and I'll say, g'day. Right, I'm gonna bring in Adam now, and just press. He'll be on standby, and I'll bring him up. And we can have a chat. So that'd be a bit of fun. We can do it live. So I'll try to maybe coordinate one of those by the end of this week, and then do another couple next week. It could be fun. So there you go. Okay, Renault just updated at 1600. Oh, he did. Let's go back and have a look, eh? Rightio, going back to the tracker. Okay, you got the tracker, and where am I? Here I am. Okay. I've probably got to reboot this now. Yeah, of course. That's 1200. Okay. So I'll reboot this. We'll have to go through the process. Won't take long. Your dinner's not getting cold, so stand by. I'm interested to see how far up he's gone. Yeah, I can see he's moved ahead there. So here we go. That's a bit of fun. Oh, yeah, he's stretching out ahead. Rightio. 157, 158. Nope, didn't make it. Dan's got the day. Dan Turner is there. He's won. Dan closed in on Renaud, the huge distance of 1 nautical mile. But anyway, he's doing 6.7, having a good time, and not quite stretching out with the others, but still bow to bow, from here to here, near enough. He's got 110 miles up his sleeve, 110, 112 miles up his sleeve. Back to me, and I'll finish the questions, and then we can get out of here. So thanks for that tip-off. All good. So, but yes, Kerry is doing an amazing race. We'll try and doesn't have Starlink anymore, but we can get him on the phone maybe. Okay, hi John. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe and do all of that sort of stuff for us. It helps us a lot. The numbers are slowly creeping up. We're up to about 7.4 or something now, but keep sharing it around. Tell your mates, tell them all to get on and have a look, and like what we like and share and all that sort of stuff. And subscribe if you're on YouTube. That helps us. So how's the clouds? Some are complaining about can't charge their batteries. Will they get some clear skies eventually? Yeah, they will, but in fact, I'm surprised it's been overcast for so long. Just before I go out at the end of this, I'll go back and I'll pull the clouds up and we'll have a look. Because, yeah, usually when you're in the trades, there's a very common distinction. You've got the white fluffy clouds. That defines the trades. But I think it's early in the season. They're still coming out of the transition zone of the doldrums, and they're still very close to the equator. They're only at 10, they're not even at 10 south yet. They're at, probably 7 or 8 or something. And when you're up that high, that's part of the challenge. So, I reckon they might not get the normal trade wind sun, but we'll have a look in a minute and I'll see how that goes. But some of them are pulling a lot of power as well, but they're getting into the swing of it and they know they've got to modify that. And as I've said before, like we're banning the targers on the back of the boats for a couple of reasons. And one of them is that you just get the difference in having a solar panel flat compared to putting it on the back so you can angle it to the sun is like 100%, absolutely 100% more power if you can angle your panels to the sun. So that makes a big difference. But we'll have a look before I sign off. How does the 24-hour nautical mile tracker calculate? Does it reset every 24 hours or just average? No, it resets every 4 hours. Boom, boom, boom. So it's not like a normal navigation one where you're normally going from, celestial midday to midday. You always used to do your daily run from noon to noon. But with this, every 4 hours, it recalculates another 24-hour run back to exactly 24 hours back. So that 24-hour gap period keeps stepping forward one after the other. So it's not the traditional 24-hour run. That's why you get a new one every 4 hours. So it's kind of cool. And the distances that they're making is relevant to the Rumline course, which is that red line, which is the average one. But at the moment, it's nominal. It wouldn't be upsetting too much because they're going pretty much east-west, and the Rumline's coming down. It's coming down at probably 20 degrees off of west, so it's probably coming 250 or something. So there's not a lot in it, not a lot at all. Well, g'day, Wind on Water. Don, you make all this tech stuff look so easy. Which tech stuff? Coming from the entrance, the communications, or what we do? There's really not a lot to talk about. I'm surprised I can keep everyone bored for half an hour because it's just trade winds and they're just going down. It's just a boat race and stuff. But there's a little bit going on. I'm pretty busy at the moment, but so I'm not actually looking every hour to see if they're putting up posts. And I get a couple of the managers send me updates every now and then. But I try to keep up with it so I can tell you a bit about what's going on. And we share a few of the posts from the entrance, and Jane does some stuff. She was doing a video for. We got quite a few video clips again from Jacob, but at the same time, she's been busy on some other stuff with us as well. We've got a few things happening, so maybe tomorrow we might get some of that video stuff up. Storen, had my first sailing experience yesterday at 4 Beaufort. It was great. My decision is made. I want my own boat and cross the Atlantic within 3 years. Good on you. This is something. Another thing I brought up with a guy in an email today from the GGR, that we ask for compulsory media, right? Every so often, the entrants have to deliver us, 8 magazine quality photos, 30 minutes of various video footage of what they're doing, and a 500 word update and so on. And this guy he's actually organised and paying for a professional guy to come out with a camera boat and do the whole thing properly. And we don't expect them to spend money. You can do a lot of it by yourself, with good camera gear, and we teach them the technique and stuff. But it was fantastic that he's decided to invest money. And I told him, I said, look, that's great. You'll be looking good. And if we get good material, we will actually use it to get it out there. And what that does is it makes him look great, but it tells his story, which will inspire other people. And when other people get inspired, they want to go sailing, and then they want to get a boat. They want to go do whatever, and that's the whole thing with this. Part of the reason we do it, it's all about inspiration. All the people that are in our events are inspiring other people to go out and do things. And that's adventure, and adventure makes good people, and the world's completely stuffed at the moment, and it needs good people. So good on you, Storen. I hope you enjoy your sailing experience. We'll have plenty of ups and downs and challenges and all that sort of stuff, but stick with it. It's a pretty cool thing when you get there. So good luck. Thanks for this great mini globe race. I like underdog stuff. Yeah, exactly. And believe me, it can turn itself on its head. It's a long way. We've still got 11 months or something of this. And they're only days apart from the front to the back. They're only days apart, and you have one issue, and all of a sudden, it can just turn. The guys in the middle will all of a sudden be right up the front. The guys at the back are now in the middle, and then the guy at the front is going to be at the back, and then something will happen again, and the guy that was at the front that's now at the back will be back up the front. You never know what to expect, and so we're well and truly just in the early stages of what's going on. So it's a great journey. It's like John Guswell on Trekker. It's going to go for a long time. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. G'day, Christine. And Christine, I forgot to like and love symbols of Don's figure. Don't forget to like and love symbols from Don's figures. What's wrong with my figure? I know I've got a gut. I don't drink beer. But anyway, thanks, Christine. Yeah, it's good. Any interactions we get, it's all good. So okay, thanks for that. We'll probably see you tomorrow. And we'll hope all the boys and girls out there get a good sail tonight, or today. They're today, and we're going into tonight. Okay, see you later, and see you tomorrow.
Witness history in the making. The McIntyre Mini Globe Race 2025. Small boat, huge adventure.